Hello. In this series we're going to explore the evolution of the country house in England from open halls of the medieval period to the present day. Partly this is about their architectural development, but importantly also their social and cultural impact. For the late Christopher Hussey, historian and former architectural editor of Country Life, country houses are England's most visible contribution to the riches of European civilization. And in a prologue to Brideshead Revisited, Evelyn Waugh wrote, "The English country house is our greatest national achievement." Heartfelt claims. For a variety of reasons, no foreign takeover since 1066, no working class revolution, no Code Napoleon putting the égalité into liberté and fraternité, and the existence of entailment, a legal device and form of ownership protecting estates from improvident heirs, England's country houses have survived better than comparable properties elsewhere, better than the chateaux of France, the Schloss of Germany and Austria, and the dashes of Russia, for example. For most of the medieval period, local lords, the landed gentry, lived in open halls. I've talked a little about these in an earlier series on historic buildings. I'm going to expand on that for completeness. The Anglo-Saxon lords had their mead halls, their feasting halls. King Hrothgar's is described in the epic poem Beowulf, towering up high and wide-gabled. A single large rectangular timber building, open to the roof, with a central hearth and smoke left to find its own way out, either through thatch or a rooftop louver. It might pickle the people slightly, but wood smoke had the benefit of deterring pests and preserving timbers. These buildings leave little archaeological trace beyond beam slots and post holes. Windows were narrow slits with shutters, floors commonly beaten earth, clay or wood ash, strewn with straw or herbs that could be swept out periodically and spread on the fields. Life in the open hall was communal, a life lived in public view. The master and his family, household retainers and servants, eating and sleeping in the same shared space. The lord and his family, feasting on a raised dais at one end of the hall. In his version of the story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, J.R.R. Tolkien imagines how Arthur and Guinevere, Arthur's nephews Gawain, Agravain, Iwain and Bishop Baldwin, dined on a dais and daintily fared, and many a trusty man below at the long tables. Much cooking was done outside, and dedicated houses and kitchens were often separate to minimise the risk of fire. Over time, stone replaced timber and flagged floors replaced beaten earth or ash, and there was a move towards more privacy by the gentry. Around 1300, separate upstairs rooms called solas were beginning to be added to open halls, usually accessed by stairs from the dais at the upper end of the hall. A private room for the manorial family, and a move that marked the beginning of sleeping upstairs. The space beneath the sola might be used for storage or as a parlour, a place where business could be conducted in private. With the introduction of chimneys in the later medieval period, central hearths were moved to a fireplace on one of the walls, typically between the hall and the kitchen, a functional position enabling a single chimney to serve both rooms, and by blocking any through passage, creating a lobby entrance to which a porch might be added as a welcoming, sometimes imposing, main entrance for important visitors, and a back door for servants and tradespeople. Fireplaces with chimneys also enabled open halls to be divided into upper and lower stories. Cross wings added at the lower end of an open hall extended domestic rooms, adding pantries, butteries and storerooms. Some might have space upstairs, either to accommodate guests or for servants moved from sleeping in the open hall. Solar wings were sometimes extended to provide a private chapel. Hall, cross wings and porch creating an E-plan house. This is the late 15th century old hall at Gainsborough, built for Sir Thomas Burr. The west wing was probably added for a visit by Richard III in 1483. Some E-plan houses developed further into H-plan houses. The communal way of life, everyone eating together, sleeping in the same room, allowed a manorial lord to visibly demonstrate his hospitality and the strength and unity of his household. From the dais he faced the room, showed his visage, as Robert Grosseteste, Bishop of Lincoln, advised he should. In the grandest halls, a minstrel's gallery might house musicians, providing entertainment. Several examples of the open hall and its evolution can still be seen. This is a view of the upper end of the Brethren's Hall, originally the Master's Hall at the Hospital of St Cross, just outside Winchester. Built around 1340 with a magnificent roof of Spanish chestnut. This is the view from the dais, looking towards a screened passage and musicians' gallery. This is a great hall at Ightham Moat, a moated manor house near Sevenoaks in Kent, now in the care of the National Trust, a survivor from the 1330s. The great open hall at Haddon in Derbyshire of around 1340 survived, fossilised by neglect, effectively mothballed from the 17th to the early 20th century. The bones of open hall houses can be discovered hidden within houses such as Gurney Manor, now looked after by the Landmark Trust, at Cannington in Somerset, built around 1300, give or take a few years. The move to greater privacy, traceable in the later Middle Ages, marked a profound change in lifestyles. The hall remained at the centre of the house, but as William Langland observed in Piers Plowman, writing around 1370, "Desolate is the hall each day in the week, when neither lord nor lady delights to sit. Now each has a rich man a rule to eat by himself in a privy parlour or in a chamber with a chimney, and leave the chief hall that was made for meals and men to eat in." Hardwick Hall in Derbyshire, built between 1590 and 1596 by Robert Smithson for the very hands-on Bess of Hardwick, now a National Trust property, heralded a new architectural style, in which the hall is relegated from the social centre of the house to simply an entrance and reception area. The country house as we know it is beginning to emerge, and next time I shall say more about Hardwick Hall and look at some of the other grand showpiece houses of Elizabethan England. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.